Ever since I first come to Hull in the 1980s, I've always been intrigued as to why there's a statue, a gold statue of King Billy right in the heart of the centre of Hull. What I've always wanted to do is try to get a picture of this statue, because King Billy with his wife Mary were hugely historical figures in Britain and Ireland, and I thought it'd be quite nice. A nice gold statue of King Billy on his horse would be a really nice picture to take. But I've never really been able to get a nice shot. But I'm going to give it a go today and see if I can get a picture. So I brought my Olympus EM1 Mark II, and I've got my 45mm lens on because I think this is really a portrait shot. And because King William's up high on a plinth, high on a horse up in the air, I'm going to need that bit of reach to try to get this shot. And that could be my problem because the King's high up and I'm going to have to shoot from low down. So I'm inevitably going to get a lot of sky in. But I'll do my best to see what I can do with this camera and the lens, and I'll show you my results in a second. History tells us that in the late 17th century, King James II was coming to the end of his time, and King William was invited to come across from Holland with his wife to become King of England. But James was still around, and James was desperately trying to find a son and an heir because William was his son-in-law. But eventually William came across, and the thought was that he was attempted twice to land at Hull to come into England, obviously to take the throne, but the weather on both occasions thwarted him. So he ended up going down English Channel around to Devon, and he landed there. But the reason this statue is here and the reason that Hull celebrate King William is because Hull was a Protestant city, and King James and his pals desperately wanted to turn Hull Catholic, and the people of Hull wanted to stay Protestant, and that's why they really was desperately wanting to get a Protestant king in, which is what King William was, to try to obviously deliver them from what they saw as a tyranny of Catholicism. I don't know how well you can see this, but my first image, I'm going sort of to the side on. I've got a really high shutter speed because of the light in the sky. I'm on base ISO, and I've just got a straight up vertical picture with the king standing on his horse, just looking straight at him. So I put these buildings behind. There's my first one. I put the buildings behind to try to get a shot where I've not got all the sky in, just for this time, and I'll try again in a second and try and get one with a bit of sky and make it a separation shot. But here's a shot. I'll try and take a couple of these and then I'll show you them. In this light, it's really difficult to show you what these pictures look like, but I'm going to try and get a picture of just their bust, the head, and the horse as if it's going forward, if I can. If I have to switch lenses, I will, but I'll try this. What I didn't want to do is get a horizontal picture or any sort of picture with these sort of new buildings behind, but I do think that building does separate the king on this horse from the background, so I'm going to give that a try. I might actually go for a really wide open aperture, see what happens there. Here's a picture at f8 and 1/200th a second, slightly underexposure. That doesn't look too bad. I'll go with a wider aperture, see what that looks like. What I do find really good is they've got a pub right outside, and they've got King William House, and there's also a car park named after the king. So obviously this city is really quite fond of this king. While I'm in the centre of Hull, I might as well come round the Minster and maybe a little look at the old town and try to take a few shots, and hopefully I can show you those shots as I'm taking them and you can see what I'm doing. Let's have a look. Only having two lenses can be a bit of a liability, but I'll try and take a picture right from the ground, try and get a picture of the Minster from the ground down here, try and get a shot like that. I'll try a few times and then I'll show you the result, because there's lots of people around. There's always lots of people here. In the summer it gets very busy. Hull is such a good place to come for a weekend if you're stuck for wanting somewhere to go. If in the UK in particular, and if where should we go, what's good? Hull's great for a weekend. It's got really lots of things to see, great places to eat and drink. It's really worth a sort of a weekend visit, in my opinion, at least. Thank you very much indeed for watching this video. I hope you found this little history lesson of Hull interesting and the photography okay. And if you have enjoyed it, if you have liked it, why don't you give it a like? That would be amazing. And if you're enjoying this photography content I'm trying to create, then why not follow along and subscribe to the channel? Hopefully you'll see a lot more. Thank you very much indeed, and see you in the next one. Cheerio.